After the whistle starts in Huntington, where Holden Schreier evades not one, not two, not three, but four defenders and finds his brother Chance Schreier in the back of the end zone for 6. Let's take another look at that. Schreier pulling this one from the Madden playbook and heaves a prayer to get the touchdown. But is it enough for Bellwood-Antis to beat the hosting Bearcats? Hi, I'm Sharenda Hammond. We'll have more from that game and others on this stormy Friday night around District 6.
And I'm Dylan Price. We'll take another look at Penn State's big-time victory over Big 12 foe West Virginia and preview their next matchup against Delaware. All that and more, including info on a few rain delays in the area, coming up on After the Whistle.
We'll have more on our game of the week later on in the show, but first we're going to head to some highlights. The Red Raiders of Bellefonte welcome in Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders in their first ever matchup. Bishop Guilfoyle starting off the season pretty decent at 1-1. Bellefonte starting off 0-2 as they run out in front of their fans. First drive of the game, the Marauders inside the red zone. Jake Kissel stays patient in the backfield, jukes out a defender, and slides into the end zone. Bishop Guilfoyle goes up 7-0. Up 14-0, still in the first, quarterback Chase Kiesel drops back and fries one deep, which is picked off by Brandon Bickle. Bickle runs it back and sets up Bellefonte with their best field position of the day. 2 plays later, Sherman Lowry bounces off his lineman and goes untouched the rest of the way for the touchdown. Red Raiders missed the extra point but cut the deficit to 8. Heading into the second quarter now, Bishop Guilfoyle on the cusp of another score. Caden Wyant rushes it in from 3 yards out. BG goes ahead 21-6. Bishop Guilfoyle up 21-6. Ryan Hagg finds the end zone and gives the camera a nice little scream. BG up 28-6. Take a look at that one. As Bishop Guilfoyle continues to pour it on, it's 42-6 as Chase Kiesel drops back again, finds an open Trent Adams for another score, heads into halftime up 49-6. That score held the rest of the way as Bishop Guilfoyle improved to 2-1 and Bellefonte fell to 0-3. The Marauders face Huntington at home next week while Bellefonte stays home to face Clearfield.
The last time Phillipsburg, Osceola, and Clearfield met, Phillipsburg Osceola fell in a shutout loss. Now they've got revenge on their mind. Let's take a look. Clearfield looking to bounce back in their own right as they go head-to-head with the Mounties. Carter Chamberlain rushing down the outside, punches it in for an early score. 7-0 lead with 8:37 to go in the first. Look at that Bison go, baby, getting jiggy with it. After a fumble from the Mounties, they tee up the Bisons, and Will D'Amico would call his own number to give the Bison a 13-0 lead. A beautiful tribute here to Mason Martin. We'll have more on that in a bit. Carter Chamberlain busts through like a Kool-Aid man and gets the touchdown, vaulting the Bison to a commanding 20-0 lead. The game would be called in the fourth quarter due to inclement weather, and the Bison would hold on to take the 44-7 victory. The Bison win and jump to 2-1 on the season with a trip to Bellefonte scheduled for next week. The Mountaineers trek home now at 1-2 to host Penns Valley.
Due to heavy rain, tonight's Tyrone at Central matchup was postponed. The game will now take place on Sunday at 3 p.m. It's been all Dragons in the last 3 matchups between Central and the Tyrone Golden Eagles, and you'll have to wait until Sunday to see if that trend continues.
Now let's take a look at some of the other teams around District 6. Northern Cambria takes down Marion Center 21-7. Richland taking care of business against Westmont Hilltop 35-7. Central Cambria sneaks one past Bedford 12-7, and Chestnut Ridge beats Bishop McCourt 35-7.
Penn Cambria defeated Forest Hills 40-20. Cambria Heights went into Portage and walked out with a win 24-0. Penn's Manor dominated against Conemaugh Township 34-7, and Mount Union steamrolled Kerwinsville 36-15. Let's head over to Huntington, where the Bearcats host the Bellwood-Antis Blue Devils. Starting with the opening drive, Eric Mykit is rolling out dishes it to Tyler Long, who breaks 4 tackles en route to the end zone. Huntington goes up 7-0. Ensuing drive, 7-0 Huntington. The Blue Devils go 3-and-out as the snap goes over the head of the punter, resulting in a tackle for a loss. Huntington takes over at the Blue Devils' 25-yard line. On that drive, Huntington up 7-0. Huntington's Ashton Steele takes it in from 10 yards out. Huntington doubles their lead 14-0. Second quarter, 14-0 Huntington. Holden Schreier rolls out the pocket, passes it to the middle of the field, tipped up in the air, and intercepted by Tyler Long, who takes it the distance. Extra point snap is bobbled, and the extra point is no good. 20-0 Huntington. Right before the half, 20-0 Huntington. Bellwood Antis 4th and 5th. Holden Schreier to his brother Chance Schreier in the end zone. Blue Devils go for 2 and get it. 20-8 Huntington. Huntington goes on to grab their first win of the season, taking this one over Bellwood Antis 41-16. The Bearcats, now 1 and 2, stay home next week, hosting Central Bellwood Antis, still searching for that elusive first win. They head west to Altoona to take on Bishop Guilfoyle next week.
The gloomy weather continued to make its way around District 6 as the State College at Hollidaysburg game was also canceled this evening. The Little Lions and Golden Tigers both were on opposite ends of upsets in their own right last week. State College looking to flip the script while Hollidaysburg tried to continue its gritty winning ways. However, after more than 2 hours and some of the players getting sturdy, officials determined that the game would not be played tonight and, according to State College's coaching staff, would not be rescheduled. Altoona takes the trip to Mifflin County in a rematch of last year's playoff battle. The Huskies playing host to the Mountain Lions for an early Friday night matchup with rain in the area. 11:10 to go in the second quarter. Altoona with a 3rd and goal from the 3. Bron Mosley jukes his way into the end zone and throws a little sign at our cameraman there. Altoona up 35-0 back in possession, though. Brennan Freewald brought down by the Huskies. The Swarm would give the Huskies a little bit of confidence here. And yet again, Altoona stifled at the goal line. A herd of Huskies this time brings him down to give Mifflin County a little bit of momentum. What would they do it? Back up against the wall, Mifflin County trying to make something happen. They go to the screen pass on the near side, but Altoona, boom, goes the dynamite. Stifles them there. And late in the second quarter, Mifflin County with a last chance, but they would not convert and get any momentum. Altoona 35-0, a controlled and dominant victory. Next week, they will head to State College in the big win, and Mifflin County will host Lower Dauphin.
District 9 high school football is handling unfortunate circumstances today after Karn City's starting quarterback Mason Martin suffered a life-threatening injury against Red Bank Valley on Friday night. The third quarter, Mason trotted out for a returning kickoff and collapsed before the kick. Mason was rushed off to UPMC Presbyterian Hospital where he was treated for a brain bleed and a collapsed lung. Tonight, Karn City faced Ridgeway in its first game since the injury, where fans wore Martin's number and colors across the stadium. Even on the field, Martin's teammates and opposing players repped his number and kept him in their hearts throughout the night.
I remember telling their dad, that I hope my kids can grow up to be just as good as their kids. I know that if we can all emulate their hope and faith, anything is possible.
We'll be right back after the break.
Hello and welcome back to After the Whistle, brought to you by Calm Radio, Center County Report, and Penn State's chapter of Awesome. Now over to Dylan for our Game of the Week.
We head to Penns Valley for our Game of the Week, where Bald Eagle area looks to take down the Rams. Familiar foes for the Eagles and Rams as Penns Valley defeated Bald Eagle area in the District 6 playoffs last year. You see right here, Carson Nagel connecting with Cameron Watkins for a Bald Eagle touchdown. Penns Valley still leading, though, 17-8. Then Nagel drops back again, and who else but Watkins in the end zone puts it in a bucket giving Bald Eagle a 22-17 advantage. There you see, though, Ty Watson would rush it in and swing the pendulum back to Penns Valley. But Cameron Dubbs would swing it back Bald Eagle's way, and Bald Eagle, holding on this last-ditch effort, throws up a prayer but does not convert. And Bald Eagle, an incredible comeback. They would hoist the trophy and hold on to take the Curtain Bowl by a score of 28-3. Bald Eagle heads home to face Tyrone next week, while Penns Valley hits the road looking to bounce back against Phillipsburg Osceola. Our Game of the Week reporter Will Dirksen was at that matchup. Will, what did you see in this one?
Thanks, Dylan. Bald Eagle needed resilience to mount a second-half comeback to capture the Iron Belt Trophy. Let's take a look.
Bald Eagle relied on a 20-point third quarter to defeat Penns Valley. 12 of those points came from wide receiver Cameron Watkins, who credited his chemistry with quarterback Carson Nagel for their success.
He told me that he's trusted me, so I just went up and he had a great ball and I just made a play on it.
After being down 15 at halftime, the Eagles clawed back, relying on their toughness to stay unbeaten.
For Nagel, tonight's win meant a lot following the team's early deficit.
Just the toughness and adversity. We got how many fumbles? They could easily packed it in numerous times when it was 17-0. But our kids just kept fighting and believing in one another, and that's a true testament to kids that are really, really close.
This one against a rival for the belt, that's obviously pretty fun. So I don't know. It's probably top 3 in my opinion.
The Eagles' next challenge comes when they take on Tyrone next Friday. Reporting in the studio, I'm Will Dirksen. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Will. Penn State football is getting ready to take on Delaware tomorrow after starting their season 1-0 last week. McKenna Wall has more from our Penn State Rewind.
The West Virginia Mountaineers face Penn State in front of 110,747 fans in Happy Valley. The Nittany Lions took the 38-15 victory in front of the 4th largest crowd in Beaver Stadium history. Penn State dominated the offense with Drew Aller under center, while Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen carried the load in the backfield. Aller connected with Keandre Lambert-Smith for a 72-yard touchdown 5 minutes into the game. West Virginia's C.J. Donaldson tied it up at the start of the second quarter on a 1-yard run, but Singleton fired back with a run for himself, muscling into the end zone.
I'm more patient at the backfield, letting the blocks develop. Obviously, my speed, I felt stronger, faster, bigger.
Aller found Lambert-Smith once again, and after a Penn State field goal, the score was 24-7 early in the 4th quarter. Aller passed for a total of 325 yards and 3 touchdowns, making him the first quarterback to throw for 300 yards in a season opener since 2014. After his performance, Aller was named the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week, his first Big Ten recognition.
He's been doing it all spring camp. Everybody couldn't wait for him to be out at Beaver Stadium, but I wasn't surprised by him.
He wasn't the only impressive quarterback. Backup QB Bo Perbula used his legs to score a touchdown with 6 seconds left in the game.
There's some things that are going to show up in Bo's game that I think is going to help us this year.
In University Park, I'm McKenna Wall for After the Whistle.
Penn State now sets their focus to the visiting Delaware Blue Hens this Saturday. Quarterback Drew Aller was named Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week after his 325-yard, 3-touchdown performance against West Virginia last weekend. The majority of his passes went to his receivers, but only one pass was caught by a tight end, that being a 9-yard reception by Tyler Warren. Head coach James Franklin knows it's hard to game plan for tight end, but wants to keep the hot hand rolling.
It's hard to say that tight ends are not going to be a factor in the game because there's a lot of different ways that we're using them. But we'd like it to be a little bit more balanced.
Listen to the Nittany Lions take on Delaware on Comm Radio with their pregame show starting at 11 a.m.
High school football Fridays are not just for students and their parents, but also for the little ones. Huntington hosted Youth Night at War Veterans Memorial Field tonight, where players from the Huntington Peeway Football Leagues got free admission to this evening's game. Along with that, a group of young band members got to sit on the field and watch both bands perform their halftime shows. They even showed support for the visiting Blue Devil Band. That'll do it for this week's coverage of District 6 football. But Sharanda, I am ecstatic, ready to see Penn State football go at it again tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, I'm really ecstatic as well. It's actually kind of funny. I have some friends on the team, so can't wait to see them perform well.
Well, for Sharanda Hammond, I'm Dylan Price. Make sure to follow us on X and Instagram and at ATWPSU. We'll be back next week for more high school football action right here on After the Whistle.